Jason Whitlock.
He said that no women are qualified to be at that level in sports television, to be on television every day. He said no women are qualified. I thought that was interesting. As Jason Whitlock, he literally said it.
It's funny from Jason Whitlock because he's not any sort of athlete himself.
Right.
Like I get like when you're saying like, you know, people that have like really done this now talking about it, you know, that's it. But Jason Whitlock, you're just a fat dork. Like
that's not true though. Because he's a known journalist. Like he's a journalist.
A journalist.
So when you have a person to come in that isn't a journalist, that isn't an athlete,
and then they just come in.
You just got big.
That perspective.
Then what
from
is
that
it?
perspective?
You know, that's what he was coming in from.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, then is she qualified? She got the job I don't. Maybe I'm just a boob job away. Who knows?
More than that, my friend. I actually agree with you. I think there's a certain element of jest in it. But if you are continuously hitting on somebody over a period of time and you've made it clear that you want to fuck them, even when you joke about putting $1 on it, it's not really a joke.
Right. No, it's not.
There's a constant you're constantly hitting on somebody. There's a constant sexual tension that's in play.
I'm not talking about that as the jest. I'm talking about the 1.5 as the jest. Because what if she bites? What if he threw the reel out there, and what if she bites? I don't think Skip is actually going to give her a 1.5.
Maybe not. But what I'm saying,
but he would have sex with
the 1.5. It's most likely in jest, but there's an element of truth to it. Because again, you've wanted to hit this chick for a long time, and the opportunity you put that joke out there, and you're waiting to see her reaction.
And here goes another element. I thought about this earlier too. When you look at any office environment or work environment of 20 to 30 plus people, when there's of course a mixture of men and women, that like people have conversations like this all the time.
I agree.
Like jokes and things like that. Oh, and over the course of years, once you get comfortable with people, like this is like extremely normal. Yeah. So I'm extremely curious on how they're going to do this and if she's going to get $1 out of this.
Well, she will. She'll get paid.
But there's no leverage anymore.
There's plenty of leverage.
Skip is done. I mean, like Skip is not afraid to lose. He's lost everying already.
No. But
Joy Taylor, it's nothing. The news is already out.
Here's two things I want to address. The one thing that I thought really, to me, the worst thing of her is in the chronology of events. She's talking about how Skip would, kind of hit on her. And she always puts it off. Then she goes to him at one point when she's having like an issue. And I'm like, if this is a guy that wants to fuck you and you've repeatedly pushed it away, why are you sharing anything remotely personal? You're really opening the door for him to come down. It was an article. Yeah. So that to me that was a bad move on her part, and that was really not. I mean, to me, not cool. But she's going to get paid because of the accumulation of this. And you're right. In a lot of work environments, there's a lot of stuff that goes back and forth and whatever. The problem is when somebody actually wants to press pause and shit on all this, they can. Because of that, because it's become casual, because it's become whatever. But the critical thing you have here is the allegation that the top guy who dictates who's on what show is smashing a person. Yeah, and in a way, you can look at this story and say, what is Joy Taylor involved in the suit for? Because if you really, she slept with some guys and got herself a good job. The worst she seemingly did to this girl was to suggest, hey, maybe you should go along with it to work for me. Which, that in and of itself I don't think is actionable. But why she's in there is because it establishes the top guy as essentially a sexual predator doling out favors for sex. And then it all trickles down. Skip, may not get hit so much. She's going to get something out of this because of that, but primarily because it goes up to the top guy.
Okay,
and we know, you were smashing Joy Taylor, and she started to get these prime positions on your network.
Yeah,
and you're the guy that makes those decisions.
Yeah.
Like that, like they're going to get him at a deposition, and it's going to be a nightmare for him.
Right.
Because they're going to ask those questions.
Yeah.
Like, sir, you determine who's on the show, right? Yes. That's you. Nobody else does that? Yeah. And you were banging Joy Taylor. And then, miraculously, you chose her to be on the show.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
No, for sure. I got to, Ebony said, why can't I see you?
We appreciate that.
Yeah. My apologies, Ebony. We're trying something new. I got to get better. We're switching back and forth. I'll do that. But appreciate your comment there to get us back on track. But yeah, I definitely understand that going to the top. Now that I can buy. Yeah. But the Skip Bayless piece and like you said, I'm just not sure how much juice she's going to squeeze out of that.
But the other thing that you're kind of shooting for in a lot of these cases is essentially what would be considered a hostile work environment.
Right.
And when you do that, you kind of just throw the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. And the idea of this is you're not hanging your hat on one singular comment that a person made or one inappropriate thing they did. You're basically portraying this entire environment as like this
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, I guess it's a Bible reference. I don't know shit about that. But it's basically an environment where all hell's going on and you're subjected to it, and all you're trying to do is make up an hair.
The funny thing, the oddest thing of the lawsuit being 1.5 that she's suing for.
Did she specifically put a number?
That's
in there?
That's what I saw. Now,
okay.
I was going to say now I could be wrong about that, but if that is correct, then Skip offered her 1.5.
That is weird.
Like he's a 70-year-old man. How much sex could he actually give out?
Who, Bayless?
Yeah.
That's what Jackie's banking on.
You know what I mean? You go in there.
You just have to do less work for the 1.5.
Yeah, and get it over with.
Jackie's gotten out of the trenches. She's just looking for a premature ejaculator. Cash out quick.
Now, he does work out a lot though, so he may be a prime, maybe still in his prime. What do I know?
What if? How disappointed would you be if Skip out fucked you?
I would be very disappointed.
That'd be tough, man.
The amount of pills I would have to consume to build my confidence back up would be insane. Yeah, but for me, there's no dirt on Skip's name. Like there's nothing wrong with tricking. You're having these conversations. You always, and when you get in this element, the man is always going to take it one step too far. Okay. It's just how it goes. And they're always going to snitch or tell or whatever on the guy that the guy they don't like as much. Because if that is the element, and then she did implicate Shannon's name a little bit, and then you got some other people saying how that environment was. I'm talking about Marcellus Wallace and the big guy who was always talking trash, the fat guy. What his name is?
With Jason Whitlock.
Jason Whitlock. Shannon is saying stuff too.
Nobody's putting any sexual allegations on him.
Well, that was funny when he was talking about her peanut butter skin and her big jugs. I had to stay away from it. But you know what's funny, because a lot of people was like, oh, well, why do you have to stay away? She's not gonna want you anyway.
Yeah.
But number one, Jason Whitlock had a lot of power at that station when Joy Taylor came on. So that means whatever. If her thing is sleeping with men to get to the top, he theoretically would have been one of those guys. But also,
that guy probably hasn't seen his penis in a decade.
No, Jason is a renowned tricker. Like he tricks with the best of them. Now he's a Christian and all that. He doesn't do any of that. But
bullshit.
And then I have
even worse.
I have another story here coming up. But what to finish that up was what I was going to say is, like I said, who knows who Jason, because of the power he had, etc. That's that one step. And then secondly, I thought it was a good point that Jason was making of, I'm just going to remove myself from the situation completely just so nothing can happen anyway. That's really what he was saying. Like, I remove myself from all of those situations in the workplace.
But I'm gonna say this though too, because like most of us have probably seen a person that they come into whatever office setting or whatever, and you can see what they're all about. Mm-hmm. And they might be attractive or whatever, but if you know exactly what they're all about, like it becomes an easy pass.
Yeah.
And he could have definitely caught that vibe from Joy Taylor.
Exactly. And then lastly, one thing I want to say.
Her fault?
No, I'm saying an individual decision from Jason Whitlock.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
he could see her.
From the situation.
Yeah, he could see her.
Yeah.
She's clearly just here to fuck whoever's more powerful at the station.
Yeah.
And make her way up. I don't need the headache, man.
Yeah.
Like, good luck to you.
And when I first heard this story, it was super believable because I don't know, for some reason I know a lot of people look at these guys as like, super professional, and it's ESPN, it's Fox, it's like no funny business going on. But I remember at an NABJ conference where all these black journalists, they either are part of NABJ or were, right? And when I was in college, and you got Stuart Scott, was in the bathroom. I was going to the bathroom. Stuart Scott is in the bathroom. You got Rob Parker in there, and then another guy is in there, and they're in there talking to each other. And Stuart says, "Man, did you see the ass on that girl out there, man?" Da, 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 da. And he was talking about, "Man, I'm just gonna go back out there and just see if she recognizes me." And then Rob is like, "Of course she recognizes you, Stuart fucking Scott." And then he turns to me, he's like, "Man, did you see that ass on her?" And these are,
So that was your big interaction with Stuart Scott.
And these are, whatever, sophomore, juniors in college. These are not like 30-year-old women. These are whatever.
Oh, yeah.
19, 20-year-old. Well, they are fine now, but
No, I mean, on that.
But that's what these men are. Jalen Rose was fucking everybody at ESPN. That's what these guys do.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's who we are as people.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like you see
A suit
somebody
doesn't change
attractive,
it.
you're gonna react to that. You
Yeah.
know, I mean that's you too, I think, But that just is what it is. You know, it's like, again, no matter what you are, you could be, freaking any job. And whatever. You're still motivated by pussy.
Yeah. There you
So
go.
I'm just surprised that, given the fact that Fox has been like, they are constantly paying out for sexual harassment, that they would allow this to go on as long as it did, and
I mean, you could. I mean,
The problem is these are the main players.
Right.
most situations, though, there is a claim and a demand for money before it gets to a lawsuit. But if you're motivated a certain kind of way, you can just drop the lawsuit and start there, and then it all blows up like this. So I don't know what she did. I mean, she may have made some demands and lawyered up a while back, and there may have been some negotiations up to this point that have reached an impasse.
Yeah.
But then but she could have just held it all in and just say, hey, we're not even talking to these guys. We're just gonna file a lawsuit and let them scramble like madmen. I mean, it's a legitimate strategy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know which one she employed, though. I'd be curious.
Yeah. Now, neither one of these guys have made any statements. Skip Bayless, Joy Taylor, any of these other guys. So we'll see, especially the top guy from Fox. He hasn't said anything.
Black was super proud of Joy Taylor.
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with it. I honestly don't. If a guy up top is going to allow a woman to come in and sleep her way to the top, I mean, it's America.
It's America.
It's America, man.
Nah, she's not the first.
She is fine, man. Like Joy Taylor is sexy, man.
Yeah,
Joy Taylor is sexy.
She's
She's not like the best on sports television, but she's sexy.
I think maybe that was the thing. I first saw her doing the show with
Acho?
or is that the one with
So can I ask
Shady
you a
on there?
question? Is she?
Yes.
is not
Yes, it is.
qualified?
So okay, I saw her on there, and I just thought she was annoying and not particularly attractive.
Annoying, yes. But not
then,
that attractive.
then when you see like when show her in a swimsuit or whatever, it's different. But just in the professional setting.
Oh yeah. Well, then when you look at her in a professional setting, you can't help but to compare her to the other women in professional setting in sports, and she's not.
Well, it was a table full of dudes except for her, and I still wasn't overly impressed.
Well, that's.
I don't know. What's going on?
So were you
I
saying
can't help you
she's
there.
just not really qualified. She had to sleep her way.
You know what's funny about? Hold on, before you say that.
Go ahead.
You know what's funny is I keep forgetting his fucking name. The fat guy.
Jason
Whitlock. He said that no women are qualified to be at that level in sports television, to be on television every day. He said no women are qualified. I thought that was interesting. As Jason Whitlock, he literally said it.
It's funny from Jason Whitlock because he's not any sort of athlete himself.
Right.
Like I get like when you're saying like people that have like really done this now talking about it. That's it. But Jason Whitlock, you're just a fat dork. Like,
That's not true though, because he's a known journalist. Like he's a journalist.
A journalist.
So when you have a person to come in that isn't a journalist, that isn't an athlete,
and then they just come in.
You just got big titties.
From that perspective.
Then what
from
is
that
it?
perspective.
You know, yeah. I mean, well, yeah, that's what he was coming in from.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, then is she qualified? She got the job. I don't. Maybe I'm just a boob job away. Who knows?
More than that, my friend. I don't know if they do that much work.
She is Taylor's sister. I guess that's something.
I was going to say
something.
The low key thing of this, it's not played up in the story, is she's a Hall of Fame defensive player, Jason Taylor's sister.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she's theoretically been around sports for her whole life, and I think she was doing like a podcast on some smaller scale show before she kind of got into the Fox thing. But I mean, again, I don't particularly find her informative or interesting as a sports talking head, but I get,
Did you catch her podcast? When the clip that's coming up now?
No.
So I saw this. I actually saw this podcast live. Don't ask me why I clicked on her podcast, but I did one time, and I actually caught this when she was talking about men and like men that want to sleep with her a lot and things like that.
This is before she got to Fox? This podcast? Or
no, she was on Fox. She was on Fox. Yeah. Because all of these talking heads have their own podcast now. That's
right. No, I'm just trying to get the timeline straight.
Yeah. So, and she was just talking about how she was like, let's be real. Like, a guy, if a guy has money, he doesn't have to be attractive. If he has a good job, if he has money, then let's throw carrots out the door. Let's throw this out the doors.
Yeah. It's like giving him a game.
That's been resurfacing now.
Giving away that the sky is blue is not giving away.
She's like, maybe there are people that don't know that.
No, there aren't. No, there aren't.
May not be.
There are not.
Maybe just